and welcome back to Paper Mill Playhouse for Babbling by the Brook. I'm Mark Hobie, producing artistic director. Tonight, I'm honored to share with you our mini Dreamgirls reunion with cast members from our 1995 production, which was my Paper Mill debut as a director. Before we get to that conversation, though, I'd like to pause and acknowledge the critical moment of history we are living in, and the challenging yet deeply needed discussions about racism, privilege, justice, and inclusion that are taking place in our country and in the theatrical industry. We at Paper Mill affirm that Black lives matter, and we are taking this moment to sincerely listen, to learn, to reflect, and we are committed to being part of the solution. This episode, which you will see, is a joyous and loving reunion of dear old friends, was programmed and recorded before the nationwide anti-racism protesting began. Although we touch on police brutality in our conversation, a lot has changed in the world since we filmed this. But I believe the energy, spirit, and passion for what we do, theater, should absolutely be shared tonight. It is my pleasure to introduce you now to the Paper Mill Dreamgirls, Angela Robinson, LaTonya Holmes, and Sharon Wilkins. Oh, I cannot tell you how excited I am to see all you beautiful women on this screen. We have not all been together for the longest time.
Wow.
And first of all, I'm just in love with all of you.
We love you too.
Love you back, Mark.
Angela, my Dina, LaTonya, my Laurel, which I apologize still for all the mic handoffs. We'll talk about that later. And Sharon, my Effie. Oh my gosh. I just love you all so much. And do you realize, I think this October, it's the 25th anniversary of this production. It was 1995, right?
95, yeah.
How's that possible
Wow.
when we're just like 33?
I was gonna say, how do you all look so young? Look at me.
I mean,
And you all look so beautiful. First of all,
Nothing that a little dye can't remedy, honey. Little hair dye. That's little hair dye. You'll be all right.
so
You look great, Mark. You look
yes,
terrific.
you do.
Still as handsome as ever.
you're such a good liar. That's what I love about you.
No.
So
No.
first of all, Sharon, you're in LA.
Yes. Mark, I finally took the plunge. I moved here 9 years ago. I said, oh, I'll come for 5 years because LT was out here, LaTonya was out here, and a few other good friends were out here, and Angie will come out here all the time. I said, let me go out here and see what's going on. And I came out here, I saw what's going on, and I'm glad I'm here. It's been a blessing. I'm grateful for all the opportunities. I'm grateful just to have this career and to be in this business. And like I said, when people say, the people that you meet in this career, in this line becomes your family, it's really true, because meeting you and these two ladies almost 25 years ago, and that we have still remained friends and close and been sisters and dealt with each other's ups and downs, it has been an incredible ride thus far. And I'm so excited for the next 25 for all of us.
I know that's right.
Me too,
Yeah.
yeah. Well said, Shay Shay.
Yes.
Amen. And LaTonya, you are in Atlanta now, your new home.
I moved to Atlanta October of 2018 after being in LA for 20 years. LA was great for me. I did it. I have no regrets, but it was time to prioritize differently. So my family, my parents are now 76 years wiser, and I needed to be a drive away, not a flight of 3,000 miles away and not get to them. So I kind of started over. Was it easy? No, but I'm here and things are going very well, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm happy. My spirit is happy.
Well, you look happy, and family is everything, right? I mean,
family is everything.
Amazing. My mother, we moved her to an apartment directly across the street from us.
See?
And so
Yes.
I see her now all the time, and it means a lot. My sister lives a couple of towns away. My brother lives in the city, so
Okay.
we're all back together too. And Angela, you have a whole new family.
I do. I'm still here though. I'm still here in New Jersey.
Yeah, Atlanta's your second home.
But I do get to Atlanta thankfully for work. And so I was so happy that LaTonya was gonna be there too when I go. But yeah, I got a whole new family. Old girl got a baby.
Robinson,
Go ahead, Mom.
how old is he?
He's 2.
The terrible twos or the terrific twos?
Terrifically 2.
Yes.
Yes. He's full out. Yeah.
It's, you know, you may not believe this, but my little ones are now 17 and 21.
Wow, Mark.
I can't
How
believe that.
Got them.
How does that work when I'm only 30?
I can't believe that.
But you know,
Wow.
family and parenthood, especially, the best journey you'll ever take, right?
Yeah.
I have to go back to what Sharon said, because I really believe and feel that about the families that we create, right? And
Yeah.
those groups that come together. And for us, a lot of times it's through a show, whether it's a TV show or a movie or a theater piece. And we created this, you know, Dreamgirls family, the Paper Mill Dreamgirls that I'm looking at. And I'm so thrilled to be here talking to you. And I feel like it was just yesterday, maybe a few days ago, that we were together, like working in the room, you know? And that's just a testament to the love and the connection that we created. And I want to talk a little bit about that project, and then we can talk about everything else you've been up to, because each of you is a superstar on your own. So Dreamgirls was a very important show for me and has been a part of my life for a long time. And LaTonya and Angela and I met on a production of Dreamgirls before we met Sharon out in Chicago at the Marriott.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which was a crazy experience. I don't know if you remember that I didn't hire you. You were
Me?
cast. No, you were cast and I was a replacement director.
That's
And
right, David Bell.
And I met you on the first day.
Wow.
I remember saying, "Oh, hi," and you were like, "Yes, I'm Angela. I'll be Dina."
Okay.
And I'm LaTonya. I'm your Laurel. And that was a great experience in the round,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And with some wonderful talent, Felicia Fields, who we all met up with later. And it sort of set the tone and brought me actually to Paper Mill. And through directing this production in 1995, that brought us together and introduced us to Sharon. And I have to say, just personally, I had such an incredible experience with the three of you ladies and that great cast working on that show and on that production. And it was kind of the first major revival of the show since the original. A lot of people came to that studio rehearsal. Do you remember in New York?
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And
Wow.
we did our final studio run at 890 Studios. But there was something missing during that run. Do you remember what happened?
My voice.
LT, we were like,
Here was my vocal cords, drinking water. And I had to be on vocal rest until opening night. We didn't know what was going to come out.
I remember it was like the day or 2 days before our final day of rehearsal, and you like squeezed water in your mouth and started talking. It was all hoarse, and we were like, I remember I gave you my Visa card and I said, get in the car and go to the doctor.
Dr. Kessler.
Dr. Kessler. Oh my
Remember that?
Friends with Dr. Kessler, baby.
And then we did the final the final studio rehearsal with a lot of people in the room.
Yeah.
A lot of people came. And here's my impersonation of LaTonya doing Ain't No Party. While somebody else sang it. Do you remember?
Right. Yes.
Oh, that was so wild.
You never said a word.
You had my mouth taped.
And then a few days later, it was our first performance, and she opened her mouth and was incredible.
It was amazing.
right?
God, there is a God.
It was a miracle.
Yeah, it was a miracle. Because remember, he had said, I might not be able to sing again. And so I had to go on complete vocal rest up until opening. So I had a pad. You and Kenny gave me kept me with, look, our stage management made sure I always had a pencil and paper and tape and that tape over my mouth. But yeah, I tell that story all the time because
Miracles happen, right?
miracles do happen.
And that was true. They said you may not sing again. And then I don't even think you sang the final dress. It was in front of the first audience.
Yes.
She opened her mouth and there she was back.
Yeah.
And boy, did she sing.
Yes, Loretta.
Oh my God.
Boy, did y'all turn it out.
Mark, that show for me was so iconic. I mean, I graduated from NYU. I went out and done lots of like touring stuff, musical theater and all that stuff. But coming to Paper Mill was like, for me, it felt like my Broadway debut because I knew everyone in New York was coming to Paper Mill to see what was going on.
Yep.
And I must say, meeting these two angels. See, I'm getting emotional already. Meeting these two angels was so wonderful for me because not only did they just accept me and take me in, they had done the show and they had bonded already, but they just brought me in and showed me love and lifted me up and was like, you know, you do it the way you do it. You can't be this one, you can't be that one. You sing it the way you sing it. You act it the way you act it. And they lifted me up and they gave me strength and courage. They were the wind beneath my wings at that time. And I have to say, it was so fulfilling. And you as a director, oh my God, you loved us, you encouraged us, you gave us everything. You know, you made us look good. You directed us in a way that, you know, it couldn't fail. I mean, you can see in the reviews, I mean, it was just an incredible, not only that, the production value, the quality. It was, well, that's what Paper Mill still is today. It is a Broadway house, just not on Broadway. So it was just amazing. And the experience for me, it put me on the map. I say it today. Darling, I was put on the map by Paper Mill, darling. And now all of New York knows me. And it just started my career in the theater. And years later, if you were to tell me that I would have been on Broadway and originated 3 roles today, that's just part of the miracle.
Come on.
I agree. It really did. It was the show that sort of started, legitimized me, I would say. I had done regional theater before then, but doing Dreamgirls at the Paper Mill. People got Paper Mill, and I go, yeah, like, is that big? Because I try to not stay up on things. It helps me not to get nervous about it. I go, oh, they're important? Oh, okay. But yeah, being at the Paper Mill and being with these ladies, I mean, we're friends still today for a reason.
Absolutely.
And it's because of the bond that we had there. I don't know if you knew this, Mark, but on 2 show days, we used to spend the night with LaTonya across the street.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. And so we really did bond in a very, 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 very special way. I mean, we are still very, very close. And it's when you wanted to come on with us, it wasn't like, oh, let me see if I can find them. We had just done a Zoom party the week before.
Right.
Yes.
So it was like, okay, that's nothing. So, but you were and remain one of the best directors I had ever experienced.
Across the board.
It
TV,
really,
film, everything.
not just because of your love of the piece that you were directing, because that was obvious. you were so happy at rehearsal all the time, but also because of your love of actors. It was so clear that you really loved us. You wanted us all to shine. You wanted us all to have our moment. You wanted us all to have careers. And even after Dreamgirls, you would check in, you would try to find things, you know, to see how you could use us and what's going on with you, how are you doing? So it doesn't surprise us that you ended up running the paper mill because, you know,
No.
you just had a heart for actors and for art. You had that way back then. So, you know, congratulations for the work that you've done, because you brought us together. And I mean, we will be friends for the rest of our life based on that time together.
That is, it's so sweet of you to say that. And I have to say, you know, we were all so young, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We were all starting. Yeah, you're still young, but that's the show that put me on the map too, right? I had worked in Chicago, and I remember when we were it was sometime after that Marriott production. I remember talking to you, Angela, and there were 2 productions of Dreamgirls going to happen. One was in Westchester and one was at Paper Mill. And you said to me, "Oh, you should direct one of those and I can be in it." And I was like, okay, yeah, good idea. And then boom, it happened. But it was a magical experience. It was a great collection of people. Alton White, who was Curtis.
Yeah.
And
Curtis Cook.
Curtis Cook, who was CC.
Marshall Titus as Ginny Early. And
Deidre.
Yes, and we can't forget, Deidre Lang, who's who was Michelle. And we can't forget my good friend Kenny Ingram.
Honey, that's our love. That Kenny?
Yes.
Yes.
We love Kenny Ingram.
Yes.
Let me just say this. Had it not been, first of all, for you pushing me in Chicago, because I wanted to do everything my way. And you were like, "That's cute, but Miss Thing, we're going to do this." Now, what you did give me that I kiss your feet for to this day is letting Nancy Massimi put me in that orange dress, honey. I'm still trying to find somebody with a picture of me in that orange dress. But anyway, that just gave me life. But, you know, dancing, the mic, all of that stuff from Chicago to the Paper Mill, even you saying, "Yeah, you have to come," because I was a little offended, remember, when they asked me to come audition for the Paper Mill version. You know, that was when I was unfiltered. I'm still kind of, sort of not, but I am. And I said to you, "I'm not flying myself to New York." You know, they saw me, no idea about a Jeff Award or any of that during that time. I knew nothing about that, but I just was like, "What do you mean?" You know, so you said to me, "Yes, Angela, they saw you, but the team needs to see you. It is a different team. So I need you to do this for me." And that's all I needed to hear. And so having said that, had it not been for you saying, "Get out of your head, get out of yourself, come do this, because this is a great opportunity." They're not saying, they're basically saying they just need everybody else to see you. You're approved. I just need you to show up. And it'll make my job much easier.
And you showed up.
I showed on up, and Kenny took me by the hands and said, "Miss Thing, put these heels on, because in this dance movement callback, you got to tip." And I still, to this day, give Kenny credit. Between you and him, tip and hands and pull up, because I'm this. These divas are already pulled up. You know, we got pageant, we got diva. I'm country bumpkin, what, Kylie, you know. But you were like, you guys, in a sense, you poised me. You know, you groomed me for what was coming. I'm fresh out of college in Chicago, from Warner Robins, Georgia. No clue, going to New York, speaking to everybody on the train. They're like, these dolls are like, no. We got to get you some dark sunglasses, because I didn't understand why people didn't speak back, and I'm ready to fight. And they're like, no. You know, all of this from me, I say to all of you, I give you all credit for being a part of the grooming of LaTonya, because I didn't know what I didn't know.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, that material, the show's so good, right?
Yes.
It's the way it portrays those strong women and the bond that's created among the 4 of them, right? It's the 4 ladies who drive that show. And Kenny and I, Andrew, you were right, we love that show. You know? in another life, he and I would have been in it.
Yeah.
But, you know, we knew how talented each one of you was. And also, I can't, it's a little selfish of me too. I wanted you to make me look good because I knew how great you were, but together, how great we could be. But I was a young director then. I was young, green, not young. And I was nervous. And I knew Angela and I knew LaTonya, and I knew what they could do because I'd seen it. And I knew inside Sharon, there was something really, you know, explosive and fantastic. And so it was a joy and an honor to like sculpt that all together. And people still talk about, people
yeah,
still
I think you spoiled, I'll tell you, I mean, being as great as you and Kenny were, you kind of set the bar, the standard, the bar.
Yep.
And so I must say, you really spoiled us in that sense of how incredible and creative you are and what you were able to pull out of us, because a lot of times you know, a few jobs after that, I was kind of like, what is going on around here?
Yeah.
See, someone, because, you know, you spoiled us, so you set the bar really, really high as far as directing and mentoring us and pulling the best out of us, you know.
You're very sweet.
Kenny just laughing at Kenny. He's like, come on, sister. I said, darling, you don't realize my mother, I was a dancer way back when, you know. My mother put me in dance school at 9. So if nothing else, I have the line. You have to pull the rest out of me, darling.
He did. And I want to add to that you really spoiled me, because I went on to other gigs looking for my Bob Mackie costume dresses and Greg Barnes and what kind of wig is that? Darling, I did Dreamgirls at the Paper Mill. Henry Krieger said our production was the closest, best thing to Broadway.
Yeah.
And it should have been the one to go back and tour. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, so listen, that production was, to me, still today.
Yeah, it was pretty special.
2 production contracts in, it is still the best all around in terms of the team, the cast, a complete marriage for me. So thank you.
I agree. I mean, for me too, it was one of those times where sort of everything came together. The physical set, which when they first asked me to direct it, I said, well, I can't do the Michael Bennett. I don't know the Michael Bennett. Yeah. And they said, no, we want you to do yours. And so we had, you know, an entirely new set designed by Michael Anania, Greg Barnes, did those beautiful costumes, a great cast. And it's funny, like Sharon was saying, we did our show, right? We did what we thought was our version of the show, and people were blown away by it. It was exciting. And and it put me on the map. And literally, I would not be, I'm sitting at the desk at Paper Mill right now where I did my interview on the other side. And now here I am. And I owe all of that to you, to the 3 of you and the rest of the company for sure. But had that production not been so great, nobody would know who I am, and I wouldn't be sitting here now. But listen, you've done a few things on your own after that, had quite the careers, I should say. You know, Sharon, you've done a bunch of Broadway, The Life and Seussical, and both LaTonya and Angela did Color Purple. Yeah.
And I saw them both.
I did too.
I caught up
Philly. We met up in Philly. Yeah.
I have pictures. I still have those pictures. I think Angela sent them. Did you send them?
That's when we met the kids.
Yes. My daughter didn't come to the show, but my son saw it with me. I loved it. You were spectacular, both of you. And
thank you.
So exciting.
Amazing.
And now Angela, you're a big TV star.
Yes, she is.
I remember
big TV star
that I had offered you a part. Do you remember? In a production of Thoroughly Modern Millie, and you had called me up and said, because I think you had said you would do it, and then you called me up and you said, I think I can't do it because I have this other opportunity, and it was The Haves and Have-Nots.
Was it? I remember
Yes.
the offer, but I thought it was another
Wow.
theater opportunity. Was it Habs?
It
Yeah,
was
I-
half because you told me about
Yeah.
it.
LaTonya's
So-
my memory.
Yeah.
I don't have one either. But that's amazing. And tell us a little bit about that experience. I mean,
It's changed my life for sure. It happened the way everything happens in our lives as artists. You know, we think of it as just another audition, another self-tape that we're sending in. And this one in particular, I really didn't take all that seriously. But I had just been, not just, but a year and a half prior, I was in Atlanta playing The Witch in Into the Woods, which was another dream role that if you do a Paper Mill, call me. So,
I'm going to get to that question in a minute, but go on.
so it was another dream role that I got to do. And the casting director from Tyler Perry Studios came to see the show and was liked the work and invited me to come and audition for one of the comedies. And one scene, and I went and didn't get it. And I was like, I can't get one scene. So I was so disappointed, very disappointed. So, you know, I went back home with my, you know, tail between my legs. And like, I really wanted to book something there during my time in Atlanta. And I didn't. And a year and a half later, they called and said, they think you're right for this role. And this role is a bit of a witch. But it was just one of those things, you know, that you send in the tape, you do the work, you send in the tape, and it was a character that I really sort of course, I'm not her, but I could, it was quick. They wanted it the next day. And for some reason, it resonated with me in a way that I could do it very quickly. And I sent it in the next day. They said, we're flying you out the next day to meet Tyler.
Wow.
And then I did the audition that day with the gentleman who now plays my son. And the next day was the offer. It was that quick.
Mm.
And that quickly, I did not realize that my life would change in the ways that it has. But it's been a hugely rewarding experience. The same, working with people, you know, whom I have become family with. And these ladies have been also on that road with me too, you know, because we travel to the valley and to the top of the peak of the hill with each other. So, so, you know, it's just been wonderfully rewarding. We're on our 7th season.
Wow.
And yeah, so it, you know, we're still going strong. She's still crazy. My character's still crazy. And I'm having a blast playing her. But you know, if you got a sane person for me to play, that'll be nice.
But it's so funny how your life takes many different turns. And LaTonya, you've done some voiceover and animated stuff, right?
Yes. Oh God. Let's see. What? Yeah, I had to look up at my posters. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, I was a series regular on Clifford's Puppy Days for 4 seasons. Lord, what else? The Color Purple, Little Shop, the tours, the first nationals on both of those, and little TV work and lots of.
And she had a song that went viral, a recording that went viral that she did a remake of. Okay, I'm done.
Oh yeah.
What was it?
Who remembers that? Love Hangover.
Yeah.
I remade Love Hangover.
Oh,
Donna
nice.
Ross's Love Hangover 2013, I think. And I donated most of the proceeds from that to various HIV and AIDS foundations and charities. And I still do it when people decide to go on and buy it. I just send it to who needs it. And yeah, so, you know, it's been a great journey.
It's not over. You're just
no,
on
it's
the
just
way.
been started. I know, yeah.
And Sharon, I've seen you on the small screen and the big screen.
Well, look, you know, after becoming a Broadway star, I forayed into television and film. No.
True.
I like you see that word foray. You know, that's a new word I put in. I forayed in television and film. No, all kidding aside, I have been so honored and so blessed to work with some of the top people and incredible people. Everyone, and I'll say it. That Will Smith, if I never see him again, if I never work with him again, he was such a blessing to me. You know, there are times in our life, you know, we audition, we get jobs, we do this, and you meet certain people and you wonder, some you meet and you go, oh, that's not what I thought they'd be like. And others, they are that and above that. And he is one of those people to me. But being, you know, I just turned 55 years old and I have done this for like 30 years. And I feel so amazing to have done it all, not just theater, my dream to be on Broadway, but television. I've done over 40 something movies in my career and voiceovers, commercials, all of it. And we still get to do it. Audio books. Oh my goodness. I narrate audio books. It's just been incredible. And that we get to do it with love. So I feel like I'm so blessed and I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm one of the lucky ones in this life.
I think back to those days when we were at 890 with Kenny running around and just acting silly and like the kids that we were with dreams of careers. We were all just starting out, right?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, I'm not rich and famous and I'm not known worldwide, but that doesn't mean I'm not successful. And I think my success is twofold. One, I feel like I've done what I loved my entire life and been able to support myself and to raise a family, you know, and do most of the things that I would like to do, and paid for it because with a career in the theater and the arts, right?
Yeah, which is huge.
Absolutely.
Huge. And then,
That's what success is.
right.
Success is doing what you love to do, being able to support yourself and your family and everybody else around you.
That's right.
And you're still able to do it with joy and with health.
And the second half of it, the second part of it is that I feel like taking over and running Paper Mill has given me the platform to offer other people the ability to work and hone their craft and young people on their journey and old friends coming back. And it's my favorite thing to revisit friendships, you know, now in a different way. So speaking of that, we know Angela would like to do The Witch and Into the Woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
What roles would you like to visit or revisit that maybe you haven't done as we're thinking of future seasons and stuff?
You know what I want to do? I want to do Hello Dolly.
You'd be great.
Me too.
Okay, now we're going to fight. Now we're going to fight.
But I want to be Minnie Faye.
There you go. You can alternate.
Or Mama and Gypsy. Mama and Gypsy.
Me too.
Am I too old to play Luda Bells? Y'all, can I
You know what? You never too old.
No.
No, you're not.
Curly.
You can be Dainty June to their Mama Rose.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I want to be the leading player in Pippin.
Mm.
Now I know it's a stretch, but that's all right.
I
can stretch. I can, you know. Y'all laugh. I played the leading player. It's on
didn't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
In college. In college, I played the leading player. I have to find it on the VHS and transfer it for y'all. I was fantastic.
I'm just trying to think, because we need something with all of us in it.
What we gonna do? Who
is? But who? I'm too. I don't want no Dorothy, none of that. So Sharon, you Eveline, Angela, you Glenda. Who can I be? Oh, I can do Annie M.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm in the first set. Yes, I had to have my cocktails in the dressing room while these dolls work.
Put your arms around me.
Or we'll just redo Hamilton and it'll just be all females and the males will play the female roles and we'll be, you know.
I just love you all so much. Thank you.
We love you too. May I say something before we go? May I say something?
Of course, please. Yeah.
So I want to just say how we reconnected. I mean, of course, I know you were thinking of us and you wanted to have us on to do the reunion show because, you know, we stay on your mind. I know that. But But when the event happened with Ahmad jogging, and it was so incredibly disturbing. And I did a post about, I don't even remember the post now, about allies and friendships. And Mark emailed me directly, and he said his heart was broken, and he was feeling everything so deeply, as only we know Mark can. Yeah. And he was saying, what I can promise you is I'm making a difference with my own children. And I am raising children that will do it better and do it differently. And I was so moved and grateful for his reply. And then we started talking about the old days. Oh my goodness. And so I just wanted to thank you, for your heart, even though now you're the big time producer and the head of the paper mill Playhouse. Right. You have not forgot. Your heart is still just as genuine as it always was. So just thank you for reaching out. And I just want everybody to know the person that you are. And It's not new. You've been that way all this time.
From the beginning.
You are so
I pray
sweet.
that we can sprinkle love in the trees and in the plants, and love can trickle down through the plants and whatever we eat, and hopefully we'll share. But like you said, it starts with yourself and the people, your children. It starts with your friends. So we hope soon it will all change.
Yes, and I want to just add one more thing here, two more things. I cannot get off of this Zoom without us just sharing the moment. I don't know if you were still there, Mark, because I think we had opened, but the night Sharon's wig fell off in Move during the show. Mark. And Mother, okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Boom. Didn't miss a beat.
Not a beat.
And Angela and I turned upstage, changed our choreographer, in sync choreography, and all you could see was our shoulders. Mark, she did not miss a beat, but Angela and I were done.
We were cracking up.
I did not see that.
Mark, I'm a professional. I'm a professional, Mark.
And the other
professional, and I knew the show had to go on. I'm a professional. I bent down, I put it back on, like as if it was supposed to happen, because that's what theater, that's what we do.
That's right.
That was one of my most memorable moments, and the other is Scott proposing to Angela.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. I remember Scott came up to me and said, "Can I ask a favor?" And I said, "Well, sure, what is it?" And he wanted to propose to Angela on stage. And so I think it was our final dress rehearsal.
It was opening night.
Oh, was it opening?
Actually, opening night.
Opening night, and the audience stayed. Angelo came out and asked the audience to stay. I have a gentleman who wants to come out and just say a few words. And
that was crazy. 23 years later.
Wow.
That's beautiful. And that is
magic.
Look, talk about the love of the Dreamgirls family, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's lasted.
Yeah.
Amen.
And love is what endures. Love is what lasts.
Exactly right. All right. I love you all so much. Thank you for doing this.
Love you. Love y'all.
I
love
hope
you,
to see
ladies.
you all so soon.
Love you.
LaTonya.
Love you.
Love to your family.
Yes. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for joining us today. And don't forget our other online offerings. Each Thursday night at 7 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube, we are airing our Humanities Symposium series. And on Monday nights at 7, also on Facebook and YouTube, we're airing our New Voices concerts. Join us next week as one of my favorite collaborators will be with us, the multi-talented director-choreographer, Joanne Hunter. See you soon.